Sometimes you choose your meals, and sometimes your meals choose you. I knew I had to make a pot roast the moment I walked past this beef roast at the grocery store. Season with garlic powder, onion powder, dried parsley, mustard powder, sea salt, and black pepper. Rub it in and let that sit for 20 minutes. Sprinkle flour over a flat surface, then dunk your beef in it on both sides and sear it in a high heat pan for about 3 minutes until brown. Cook down onions and garlic cloves in the same pot, then deglaze with apple cider vinegar. Cut the heat, add in the potatoes, the carrots, and the brown beef, along with this ketchup, soy sauce, and brown sugar concoction. Pour in some chicken broth along with some rosemary sprigs and bay leaves, then cover with a lid and place it in a 350-degree oven for about 3 to 4 hours or until everything is tender. Scoop everything out of the pot, leaving just the liquid, and add a starch slurry to thicken. Pour the gravy over the beef, garnish with fresh parsley, and enjoy.
See this piece of focaccia? Yeah, this one right there. This is bread heaven, so I'm going to show you how to make it. Add 2.5 cups of lukewarm water to a bowl with 7 grams of yeast and 2 teaspoons of honey. Mix through and leave to sit for 5 minutes. In a second bowl, add 5 cups of white flour with 2 teaspoons of salt, then pour in your yeast mixture. Stir it through until you have no dry or floury parts. In a third bowl, add 4 tablespoons of olive oil and then the dough. Coat it really well in the olive oil, cover and leave to rise in the fridge for 24 hours until it looks like this. Now we want to deflate the dough while shaping it into a ball. Grab each edge of the dough and fold it over itself. Slide it on in to a greased rectangular pan and slightly stretch out the dough. Leave it for a second rise in a warm spot for 4 hours until it's filled the pan and has a little jiggle. Now here comes the fun part. Dimple that dough and then top it with whatever you please, making sure you use lots of olive oil to get that golden and crunchy crust. Bake it for 20 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius.
If cookies are your love language, here's the recipe for the best brown butter chocolate chip cookies of all time. Start by putting 3/4 cup of butter on low heat on the stove. First it will start to bubble up like this, and eventually it'll turn this beautiful golden brown color. Take it off the heat, then add in 1 cup of brown sugar and 1/4 cup of white sugar. Mix that until just combined, then add in 1 large egg yolk, a whole egg, and a tablespoon of vanilla. This is 3 times as much vanilla as normal, and I promise you it's worth it. Then add in 1 3/4 cups of spoon and level all-purpose flour, 3/4 teaspoon baking soda, and 1 teaspoon salt. Mix this until just combined, then add in 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips or 8 ounces of chopped chocolate. From there, scoop your cookie dough into 2-ounce balls, roll them between your hands, and then I like to do this trick where you add a few more pieces of chocolate to the top of each cookie. Then you need to chill these cookies for at least 30 minutes. This really helps them to deepen in flavor and leads to a better texture. Cover them, place them in the fridge, then when you're ready, bake at 350 for 11 to 12 minutes. Always top your cookies with a little sea salt, and that is it. Best chocolate chip cookies you'll ever eat.
Make shakshuka. This is one of my favorite things to make for breakfast or brunch, and Shelby has never had it before, so we decided to make it together. This is really fun because there are so many different ways to make it, but this is just our take. First, we saute onion, red bell pepper, and garlic along with a handful of spices, including harissa, paprika, cumin, chili powder, salt, pepper, and a pinch of sugar, which helps cut the acidity of the fresh or canned tomatoes. We then add a little water and wait until the tomatoes have cooked enough to be smashed into a sauce-like consistency, and then add the eggs. They cook in the sauce, and while it's still hot, we add our favorite toppings like Greek yogurt, Aleppo pepper, parsley, and lemon zest. Then we dig in with some crusty bread.
Here's how to make this creamy garlic and paprika chicken. Start by mixing flour, paprika, salt and pepper in a bowl. Slice the chicken in half lengthways, then coat it in the seasoned flour. Pan fry it over a medium to high heat until it's golden all over like this. Remove it from the pan, then chuck in the garlic and cook for 30 seconds before pouring in the chicken stock, double cream and paprika. Stir well, then get the chicken back in the pan and cook until it's thick and creamy like this. Sprinkle in the parsley, then stir it well. Now dish it up, then spoon over some of that creamy sauce. Have a go at this one and let me know how you get on.
I feel like I cracked the code on the best brownies of all time. Here's how to make them. These brownies actually start with brown butter, which is toasted butter. I mean, come on, how good does that sound? So cook it over low heat until it turns this golden brown color. Then add that to a bowl with 3/4 of a cup of cocoa. Doing the cocoa in this way helps to bloom it, so it adds flavor and depth. I learned this trick from Butternut Bakery. I love it. In a separate bowl, combine 3 eggs with 1 3/4 cup of light brown sugar. You're gonna wanna whisk that until it's super fluffy and you can barely feel any sugar granules between your fingers. Add in the chocolate mixture, mix it all together. Oh my God, it's like art. I love it. Is that weird? Anyways, okay. 3/4 cup of flour, some vanilla, which I forgot to add, and some salt. It is just so good. I'm getting distracted. Okay, 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, and then put that into a 350-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes until it looks like this. And there you go. That's the brownies.
These are the best dumplings I've ever made. They were super crispy and so delicious. I like to mince up some chicken thighs as opposed to buying store-bought mince. I feel like it's much better quality. Then very finely chopping up some spring onion and coriander. And this is what we're going to be popping into the mince. Pop the mince into a large mixing bowl and then crush your garlic. I love this garlic crusher. I got it off Amazon. Then grate your ginger, but not your fingers. Then to that add some soy sauce, sesame oil, oyster sauce. And they always say to mix in one direction and not like willy-nilly. This is when I realized I forgot the egg. Pop an egg in and give that a really good mix. This is the consistency that you're after. Nothing too wet, nothing too dry. This is perfect. This here is a juicy filling, and let's fill them up. I'm using gyoza wrappers. I like them because they're a bit thinner. Here I'm folding them very pretty, which I don't usually do. I'm starting on one end and then finishing to the other, pressing to seal. And these are all the folded ones. I think I made about like 40 or 50. Look how pretty they are. Time to cook these bad boys. When cooking them, you have to add cold water. This is pretty much steaming the dumplings to cook the inside. Then when a lot of the water's gone, that's when you start to pan fry and get them super, super crispy. I might have made these a little too big, but they were so good. I'm topping this with some Momofuku chili crunch. This chili oil is delicious. I also added some spring onion, chili, and then some soy sauce.
My baked crunchy hot honey chicken is a family favorite. My brothers love this recipe. You start with some cornflakes, some Parmesan cheese, some paprika. Pulse that all together until you have a fine crumb. Beat some eggs with some hot sauce. Then you want to toss the chicken through those eggs, and then you dredge the chicken through the crumbs. Drizzle the chicken with olive oil. This is key to get it nice and crisp. Throw it in the oven. Then you just warm the honey on the stove with the spices. I do a lot of cayenne, you guys. Drizzle that warm honey over the chicken. A little sea salt on top is really delicious. And serve this up with some sweet potatoes on the side. It is so good. Also, a little creamy ranch is delicious.
A dinner for 23 days, ginger glazed chicken. Season the chicken with salt and pepper. Coat the chicken with a thin layer of cornstarch. The sauce is super easy. Soy sauce, honey, grated ginger, and garlic. Mix together. Pan fry the chicken for 4 minutes on each side. Remove and set aside. Drizzle in the sauce. Let it simmer for 30 seconds. Add back in the chicken and let it cook for another 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Look at that.